stores. Scrumptious breakfast on-the-go options are available to fill you and your entire crew. Select from breakfast sandwiches, burritos, biscuits and gravy, donuts, and so many other delicious, fresh, and quick choices. Download the Bell Buddy app for great savings in the store and at the pump. Bell Stores, Ohio-owned and keeping your family on full.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever, powered by Friends and Family Credit Union. It's time to bring a friend into the family on News Talk 1480 WHBC. Live from the studios of News Talk 1480 WHBC, it's Kenny and JT.
We are huge fans of the Pro Football Hall of Fame residency program for a number of reasons. It's great for the community. It's great for the players to come back and really get to take a closer look at the community and not be rushed in and rushed out. And we're a little partial, too, because usually on one of the last days that those guys are in town, they stop by the radio station, and we get to talk to Hall of Famers here on the Kenny and JT
You know
show.
why, don't you?
Why is that?
Because if they met us first, they'd leave.
They probably would, yeah.
Probably.
And today's special guest joining us from the class of 2015, five-time Super Bowl champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer Charles Haley joining us. How are you, Charles?
Hey, I'm great, guys. How y'all doing?
We're better now that we're in the vicinity of greatness, and we say that because we remember watching you play. And JT, go ahead, tell our listeners, you saw him play in two of the biggest games of his career.
I was at Super Bowl 23 and 24, and we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But, I mean, to me, I was telling Kenny, it's more than just the Super Bowls, and we're going to get to the 5 Super Bowls that you won. But to me, and I told you this when you walked into the radio station today, Charles Haley was everywhere because it was like you're on TV every week. You're larger than life. Before, you would see these TV stars, and Dan Marino comes to mind with the isotoner gloves and everything else. And I don't know if you had any endorsement deals, but you could not watch a game on a Sunday where you weren't wreaking havoc. Unbelievable.
Well, if God gave me something that I was good at, and I asked him for that, and I truly loved the game, and I just lucky to get on two great teams where we were on the TV a lot.
Yeah,
Man.
America's team
Right.
Yeah.
and the San Francisco 49ers in their heyday, right? I found this interesting. I remembered it, but I didn't. And as we were prepping for you coming in today, I knew you played for both, but I forgot it was a trade. It wasn't free agency. And you leave San Francisco and get traded to Dallas, and then you won more Super Bowls in Dallas than you did in San Francisco. Did that feel extra special because, you end up going there and it was a trade, or no, it was just football and you're playing for whoever?
Yeah, I just felt like I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like the 49ers thought that I was easy to replace. And so I took that as a challenge. And, I came to the Cowboys, and, God, man, I've never seen that much talent on any team in my life. Jimmy Johnson put enough talent around. Now, they were dumb as hell, but they were very talented.
Oh, that's great. And so I'm doing my research about it, right? And I'm reading about you, and I'm wondering, did Emmitt Smith ever thank you or give you a percentage of his contract that he eventually signed because he was holding out? You got mad, smashed the helmet in a wall, allegedly, and the next thing you know, Emmitt Smith is signed, and you guys go on and win the Super Bowl. Did he ever hook you up?
No, but he did say thank you, and he broke my finger in it too, when he got back a couple games after me and he was talking, I pushed, and he grabbed my finger and broke it. And so that's our terms of endurance. So we're bonded for life. So I told him one of these days he won't shake my hands because I'm going to break his finger the moment he does.
Oh, that's outstanding. What a career. To get to play for those two franchises, though, right? You started with San Fran, you're Dallas, and you go back to San Fran. And we think of those, especially in that era, along with the Steelers in the 70s, right? Those are, and of course the Patriots these days. What was it like being a part of two, I guess you could call dynasties?
It was great, man. The best part of the whole deal was when I walked in, it was already a leadership team there, a strong bond, and these guys taught us how to play the game of football, how to be professionals, and then after 2 years there, we take it to the house, and then Bill Walsh retires, then George Seaver become head coach, and then we take it to a house again, and then we almost took it to the house a third time. One farmer kept us from going, and then you go to the Cowboys, man. It was it was a whirlwind.
How crazy is it when you're playing for the Cowboys?
Oh God, people worship the Dallas Cowboys, man. Hey, I don't know if they worship the Cowboys more than they do God down there. Hey, they in the church talking about, hey, we got to hurry up and get this service over so they go watch the Cowboys game. I'm going like, wow, I ain't never heard of that. My mama said we're gonna be in church from 8 o'clock till nighttime. She didn't care, but I've never seen. We would go to stadiums, and it was more Cowboy fans in the stadium than the team, and we represent no matter where we went.
Charles Haley is our guest, class of 2015 Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that's not the only Hall of Fame you've been inducted to, and we'll get into some of the other ones. But as Kenny had mentioned, the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, obviously we've been calling them America's team for as long as I can remember. I'm 61 years old. But the thing that comes to mind for me was not only you mentioned the great teams and the great talent they put together, but some of these guys that you played along with are larger than life to us. The Joe Montanas. I want to ask you about Deion Sanders. Now that Deion Sanders is a head football coach, he played at the Dallas Cowboys a short while you were there. Did you ever notice that he might become larger than life, big celebrity, head coach of college football?
God, Deion been marketing himself since college. So you know what Deion is all about. And then you know what? He backed it up on the field. So I wish him so much luck, man. I love the guy. He's been a great friend. He came into the Cowboys, man. He was just a regular player, a regular person, man, who's down to earth, telling jokes all the time. Hey, you can't get a better teammate.
You won 5 Super Bowls. You were the first player to do that. What did that mean to you? Because we look at the Super Bowl as the pinnacle of sports, right? It's so hyped, and the NFL is so watched and worshipped, wherever you play, some in more cities than others. But it's the Super Bowl, and for all the players to have come through, and Charles Haley was the first guy to win 5 Super Bowls. What did that mean to you?
It meant that I get to put all 5 rings on and pop Ronnie upside the head. That was our bet. That if I win, I win my 5th one, I get to pop him in the head, and I got to do that. Little knots roll up on his head too, dog. Hey, I bet he won't tell nobody else that.
Is there a favorite ring? Not a favorite game. I know you had 2 sacks in that first Super Bowl. Is there a favorite ring that you like better than any of them?
No, I don't wear them, and
other than the pop Ronnie upside the head.
You look at them, a little different color, a little different diamond scale.
No, I don't. I could care less. I don't even know what it looked like.
Okay.
It's been in the safe for. I'm one of those greedy guys. I wanted another one, so I didn't take time to look at the first one.
All right.
I was always working to build another one, and I find no need to pull them out. Way society is now. If you wear a Super Bowl ring, you're gonna get jacked or cut, shot.
Create attention.
So, So, and I'm not one of those guys. When you grow up poor, and you've never seen jewelry before, you don't put it on.
Yeah, and you know what? That attitude tells me why you were so successful. You got 1, I want more. You got 2, I want 3. I got 3, I want 4. Right? That where did that come? That motivation, that inner drive come from?
It was instilled in me. Being a small guy going to college at 165, coming into the NFL at 200 pounds, and people always looking down on you. So I was dribbling to excellence, and Ronnie Lott, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and those guys, as a rookie, they were befriending me as a rookie. I don't know what they saw. And I still don't know, but that to me meant something. And Bill Walsh, he would take time out to talk to me. It was kind of like a dad talk. You know what, Charles, sit your ass down and stop acting dumb. You know what I'm saying? It was he was more of you know, get under control. I don't like dumb players. Dumb players make dumb mistakes and cost you the game, and so that was for me. That was a lot for me.
It's called heart. It's called desire. They see something in you. Yeah. Every year when you guys come back into town for the Hall of Fame festivities, there's a couple of guys that I get to actually maybe hang out with, go have a dinner with once in a while. One of those is Bob Lilly, another Pro Football Hall of Famer from the Dallas Cowboys.
I love him.
Outstanding individuals. They're doing well, too. And I was just wondering, being a little bit younger than Mr. Lilly, when those guys come through, before you're in the Hall of Fame, but still playing days, did those guys help you become a better professional athlete?
I never met any of them before. They never came through.
Because it seems like you're still involved with the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
It seems like those guys are all okay.
They don't go over there.
Okay.
At least if they do, I've never seen them.
Okay.
I know. I think Randy White. I saw him one time over there during the off season, and he was doing his karate, hand speed and stuff. I think I saw him then, but no, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what's wrong with the league now is that they don't bring back the old guys to tell them how to win, or show them how to win, or tell them about leadership. How to become a man.
Right. Yeah, there is a problem there, and it would
with character.
Yes, I was just going to say culture, character. All of that needs an upgrade with a lot of the teams. And Charles Haley joining us, class of 2015, 5-time Super Bowl champ, College Football Hall of Fame too, from 1AA James Madison.
Powerhouse, baby. Don't get it twisted.
Right? I mean, back in the day, and when you were coming out of high school, were they the only one recruiting you heavily?
James Madison was the only one off me. James Madison, Liberty, now they're Liberty University, but it was Liberty College back then, and those two. And then when I went to the East-West game, I went over there and lit it up. Then bigger schools started offering me scholarships. But I had made a promise to JMU, and JMU made a promise to my mom that I was going to get my education, and I was going to graduate, and that meant more to me than just being a football player.
And how about that with this NIL stuff that's going on now? And I don't begrudge the kids, right? Because the NCAA's made a ton of money off players over the years, but kids are jumping from school to school to school to school, and for the bigger payday. And
they should.
I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I just think they should have just found a dollar amount to give the kids on a monthly basis, and not pay one kid all this money, and then they get mad because they're not starting or whatever, and then they go. It's cheaper in college football. College people used to love college football the most, and now it's like the NFL. I don't watch the NFL anymore because the game has changed so much, and now college football has changed so much. So I don't know. I'm starting to like high school football more.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
This is our 80th season of doing high school football on this radio station.
Oh, okay.
80 years. And you talk about football fanatics, Stark County, where we're located right now. Every Friday night, you have rivalries almost every week. We do 3 different games every Friday night of high school football. We do a radio game, a YouTube game, and a streaming game. That's how much love there is for high school football here.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if y'all love football more than Texas, man.
We hear that a lot.
We do. Yeah. It's those two states, though, right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, that's the 2 states you hear the most are Texas and Ohio for their love for football at the high school level.
Oh yeah. I mean, just counties touching Dallas around. Oh my God, it is huge. Yeah. I mean, the stadium bigger than stadiums. That the Hall of Fame has. Yeah, I'm going like, that's 30,000. They got 30,000 fans being packed.
That's amazing. Friday Night Lights. Yep. They made movies about it.
Yes,
Charles Haley is our guest again. 2015 Pro Football Hall of Famer. And we talked a little bit when you first got here today. You've been doing a lot of different speaking engagements. And since we're talking about high school football anyway, have you spoken to any high school football teams since you've been here?
Today at the hall, it was like four or five different schools there, and we got to talk. You know, we range from mental illness to leadership to you know, being trailblazers, not followers. You know, I try to let them know that you know, yeah, I won a lot of athletes, but I'm a broken man. I've made a lot of mistakes. But those mistakes don't define who I am or define my character, and that you know, you get your name and your character, and then once you poop on one of them, you know, the other one is no good. So you know, and then we talked about what hard work and commitment is, you know, so and then accountability. The last name is accountability, and like I told him, I said, that's the toughest of all of them, because you don't make no friends when you hold people accountable.
Yeah, that's true. It's a great point. Tell me about Foundation Tackle Tomorrow, your foundation.
Oh, my foundation, Tackle Tomorrow, we provide reading for inner city kids. We go to the worst schools in the worst part of the district, and most of them are ready to be closed or taken over, and we go in, we bring computers, reading coaches, technology. We do all things. We even bring in AI into the schools now so that kids can read a book, and then the AI will help them with that. We bring books. We redo the libraries. We give a kid a book, every kid in the 9 schools, a book to read, and then if they read it, they earn bucks, and they be able to go into Tackle Tomorrow's toy store to buy toys, or save it to get a bike. You know, I'm talking about, you would imagine, just think about a $10 toy can motivate a kid to read and to move up in their levels of reading. It's amazing, man, that you know, more I'm around, the more it seems like little things make kids make leaps and bounds. But, you know, the biggest thing is getting parents to bring their kids to school, right, and getting them to understand the value of education, that education is mobility. The only way a kid can get out the neighborhood, he has to get his education, because, you know, that gives you power, because you can vote, and that creates change.
You know what I like about it, too? I got to speak at an elementary school last week, Fraser Elementary School, and it takes you back. You're going in, you're seeing all the small classrooms and everything else, but they're impressionable, and those kids at that age, they can be molded. Yeah. What does it mean to you to be able to get that message across to the youth of America like that?
Guys, this motivates me every day to get up. I get up every day with new mission. Okay, how can we make it better? What can we do to make it better? How do we make Tackle Tomorrow solvent? How do we? And, you know, the thing is, I got a great team around me. You know, the biggest thing I missed when I was playing is team. So when I started Foundation, I put a group of men and women around me, and they're my teammates. And, you know, we won. We fuss at each other. You know, I tell them a lot of times that, you know, what our mission is, and we got to bring the community along. And I have to tell them they need to get out of Whiteville, because, you know, I said in Whiteville, education is, you know, is always valued. I said, well, we have to go where, you know, people don't value education. You know, they value hard work, making money. And the kids end up dropping out of school to just go to help support the family. And so in order to feed a child in the community, we have to build the community. So it's a lot of things you have to do to make change happen. But I am a voice of change and a voice of action.
That's Charles Haley right there.
Yeah, I love hearing that.
That's Charles Haley.
Yeah, that you've taken the ability that God gave you as a football player and at the highest level in the Hall of Fame, and use that to affect change elsewhere.
Correct. And you know, I praise God all the time for His mercy, because you know, I suffer from mental illness. You know, went through drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and he brought me through it. And the only way you get through it, you had to go through it. And when I came out the other side, I was a better man. And he strengthened me. And so now I'm able to go back and pour into these kids my brokenness so that they don't have to go through it.
Yeah, and if they hear that side of you, then things that they're dealing with, right? Because let's be honest, mental illnesses really weren't spoken about back when you played, right? Now we're seeing more and more athletes coming out and talking about that. But back when you played, you didn't say that. You didn't want a coach to know, right? You didn't want your teammates to know. So it was hush hush. And here you are now coming out and saying, this is what I went through. This is what I dealt with. You can deal with it too.
You know what? We could say they didn't know. Those players knew and the coaches knew there was something wrong. But as long as I was producing on the field, they turned a blind eye. And players, I didn't let only a few players ever got close enough to me to know anything about me, and because I didn't want people to know what I was dealing with inside. And the thing that I had to do in my life is to find one thing to live for, because there was 99 other things to die for. And I had to find that one thing, and it took me a while to figure it out. And then when I did, I realized it was Jesus Christ, because if I hurt myself, I couldn't have that relationship with him. I couldn't go to heaven. And so every time I think of negative things, I go like, you know what? Hey, why are you there? Because you know what? You know what you promised.
That's a great testimony.
Yep.
You're a great football player, but football doesn't define you. So, I mean, the story just gets better and better. And, we see, here comes number 94. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015. But the message is so much deeper and so much better. It's so nice for us to get the chance to meet you. And this is what this residency program with the Pro Football Hall of Fame is all about, because this isn't just Charles Haley driving down the Pro Football Hall of Fame parade and we get to wave to you. We get to meet you. We get to hear that testimony. And hopefully a lot of our listeners get to take that in as well. So we really appreciate that.
Well, I just believe that, the hype, we always talk about all the awards and all the great things we did. And people just live up there and, idolize you. And they don't realize that we're just human, just like everybody else. As I was telling the kids, one of the kids asked me, what was one of the challenges you had and how did you overcome it? And, I had to think about that, because I did not want to really answer that question. And then I just went on and I told him, I said, my daughter got leukemia and I thought she was going to die. I went and tried to get an unrelated bone marrow match and I couldn't do it. So I turned to alcohol and drugs. I failed my family because I was absent. I was absent, absentee father, because I couldn't deal with the pain. And but through God, I went to treatment and got over all that stuff, and now I'm a better man.
And you're speaking about it and spreading the word, which is great for you. Charles Haley is our guest. Thrilled that he's part of this year's Hall of Fame residency program, and thrilled that he's here with us on the Kenny and JT show. I shook your hand and my hand got lost in your hands. Big hands, great moves. I'm just curious, the football player, Charles Haley, why were you so dominant? Why were you so good to where you led or helped lead 5 teams to Super Bowl championships, and you ended up on the ultimate team in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
I think it's a few things. I think attitude. I think knowledge and ability. Attitude. I wanted to be the best. Knowledge. I knew what everybody's supposed to do on every defensive call, and then what the hell the one I said? I forgot. So those things is right. what I believe built the character inside of me, and then you know what, most athletes, and I hate athletic athletes because they got one skill and that's it. They don't want to try nothing else. And then you say, oh, he's a flash. You know why he's a flash? Because he got one skill and everybody figured out what that skill was, and he got nothing to fall back on. So when they take it away, and that was one of the big things, because, my thing as a football player, I relied on three things: being mobile, agile, and violent. So when all failed, I just, I go back to my roots.
Right.
And just mano a mano. I'm coming to get you, bro.
Yeah.
You're a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many defensive ends at that time run a 4.5?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You were special. That's why.
I don't know if I was special,
Well,
but you know what?
The combination of what you had was special. How's
Yeah.
that?
Well, yeah. I was not fast. I was quick. My first step, I was at 100, where most guys take 2 steps, so they got long speed. I got quick speed, and that was deadly to offensive linemen, because they take that step back. I'm on them quickly, and I guess. And then when I went to play defensive end, I was so close to them, so a lot of times they could get their hands on me quick. But when I got wide on them, they was in trouble.
Yeah. We had John Randall in here a couple of weeks ago, and he's a trip.
Yes, he is.
Were you like that on the field verbally?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Could you have if you wanted to? Do you like wrestling?
No, that was not my personality.
Okay.
What happened was, when I'm at the 49ers, you don't see people getting emotional. Wasting energy. It's a waste of energy.
Ronnie Lott was just in your face, right?
Right. Ronnie just come up and slap you upside the head. That's why I got a pinched nerve in my neck, and I had to wear a neck robe. Hey, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I made a big play, man, and I'm walking back on, and he comes from 30 yards down the field and slapped me, dog. Hey, I thought my mama slapped me, dog. Hey, bro, I was looking to see if that was Virginia Hayden the way he hit me, dog. I'm going like, wow. Hey, and then I went to the sideline, had to put a neck roll on. I'm going like, thank you a lot, Ronnie.
Oh, gosh. Great stories from Charles Haley joining us here on the Kenny and JT Show. Are you done today, or do you still have more with this residency program tomorrow?
I have all the way to Saturday.
Okay.
I'm going to see some high schools and elementary schools, talk to kids. I didn't want to sit around in the room, so I wanted to spend some time. Because when I come down here during the Hall of Fame week, nobody don't care about talking to you. They just want an autograph. And, it demeans me, because I'm an individual, and the people that take time out to say, "How you doing, Mr. Haley?" Blah. Hey, instead of just shoving something up front, I have a conversation with them. But it gets difficult sometimes, just being around people. And and then the fans, they thinking like we're snobs, because we're going to a meeting or a room and be able to talk to people, but they don't realize that if I sign one for one person,
sure,
I got to sign for all of them,
right?
And it ain't right, and so I'd rather take it right over Mike.
It's outstanding. We love having your message. We love having you with us today. Part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame residency. In studio with us today, the Kenny and JT Show, is Charles Haley. Like I said before, number 94 in your program, number 1 in your heart. Your stories are amazing. And I want to share with you just a little bit of what we talked about earlier. I was at Super Bowl 23. I was at Super Bowl 24. And for whatever reason, I found myself rooting. Well, I know the reason. Yeah. Because Super Bowl 23, you're playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm a Browns fan. So I got a 49ers shirt when you couldn't find gear anywhere. Remember the shirts they wore that just said 49ers underneath the pads? Somehow, some way, I got one. Sat dead center of a Bengals audience and rooted for the 49ers. And they were just getting on me because you're losing that game. And here we come and win that game at the end of the game. A 90-yard drive, Joe Montana,
yes.
John Candy in the stands. Yeah. That's the first Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
How does it set in on you when you're playing in the biggest game of the year? When you win the last game of the season, what goes through your mind?
Oh, God, man. You know what? You probably won't believe this. I didn't really understand that until like a week later. Then it hit me that I was a champion, and then I go to the Pro Bowl, and then you got all the guys going like they want to kiss the ring, you know.
Wow.
And I realized, man, God, that's all I got to do is win a Super Bowl. Make guys do that. I said, so, so you know, I was just hungry. I hungered and thirst for it. I win one, I wouldn't even look at it because I wanted another one, and I win the other one. I'm just greedy. I just kept being greedy. I wanted another one, but. The first Super Bowl taught me something about team, because when they ran that kickoff back and we only had that little bit of time and Joe was back there, I was sitting there with my hand in my face, moping, thinking that, we was going to lose. And then I started hearing the fans cheer, and Joe took it all the way down. And I forgot who we had for quarterback,
right,
running back, receiver. And then that was the last time I ever doubted in my team and in my teammates. So they strengthened me. They made me truly believe something that I always said I believe in. They made me truly believe in it.
That's awesome. Joe Montana and Troy Aikman, not two bad quarterbacks, right, to have on your team leading the way?
Not at all. They're totally different guys.
Right.
Totally different guys. Troy just had a strong arm, where Joe was just he anticipated the throw. All his throws anticipated. He would throw the pass to Jerry Rice before he gets open, and with most DBs, I can't understand because I studied Jerry. Have you ever watched games when the ball's in the air? That's when he just runs past them. Jerry is not that fast, but when they look up at the ball, they decrease in speed, where Jerry increases in speed. And the other thing you'll never see is Jerry dive for a football.
Because Joe Montana put it right in his numbers.
Right. And Bill Walsh said that you decrease speed when you jump.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So, and you're not picking up speed, you're losing speed, so run through it. And so I understand it now, because when you leave your feet, you are decreasing speed.
It's like yesterday. Well, it's like what they tell you in baseball: don't dive into first base.
Yeah,
run through it.
First base. Yeah.
Same thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Great stuff, Charles. I know you've got to get going. We always appreciate the time, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or I think we've had you for a half hour. It flies by when we have a Hall of Famer in studio, and we get to talk not only about the on-the-field accomplishments, but like you, the off-the-field things you're doing. So continued success.
I'll be at the at the Hall of Fame from 9:30 to 10:30. If fans want to drop by.
Tomorrow morning?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, Saturday
right.
morning.
Okay.
From 9:30 to 10:30. So drop by, join in, and say hi.
Come meet a Hall of Famer, man.
And I have one final question.
All right,
Since we're talking about the Hall of Fame anyway, we ask a lot of these Hall of Famers, and not the old, if the bus talked at night, who would Charles Haley talk to? When Charles Haley comes to Canton and goes to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, now, for Kenny and myself, I grew up about a mile away. And I've known every inch of that hall my entire life, but it's changed. Now there's different displays, there's different exhibits. When you go to the Hall of Fame, what does Charles Haley want to see?
I want to see, the greatest part of coming now is I get to go meet a couple guys that I've never met before, because I was in church all the time. And so I get to know them, and it's just not looking at a bus.
Right.
I need to know the person first, know something about them, instead of just walking aimlessly around going like, because I know the LTs, I know the great guys that I played with in my generation, but I don't know the older guys. And so I take time out now to spend different days, me and my son, with different players, to get to know them and get to know a little bit about them, and for me, that is the best part of my trip.
We love the fact that you took time out to meet us today, too, because it means a lot to us. So we really appreciate it. God bless you.
Yeah, they told me it was two ugly guys that already got that Halloween mask on. So
We did. With Face for Radio.
I figure I'll come by. Yeah.
With a little cliche, Face for Radio. Heard it all, man.
Love this guy even more now.
Keep it in talk track. I thought you weren't like John Randall.
I said on the field.
Oh, that's great. Charles, thanks so much.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Continued good health and success in everything that you've got going on.
Thank you.
We'll get a break in right now. After that, we'll get a break in here on the Kenny and JT Show and be back with more.
The Roadman and JT on 1480 WHBC.
The Kenny and JT Show is presented by Roosters, a fun, casual joint. Join the flock at Roosters on Dressler Road in Canton and online at Roosters.